Hey there everybody, welcome to the channel. I'm Cindy Daychuck with Queen Bee Creations and I'm going to attempt sewing again today, but it's straight lines, so I think I'll be okay. If you're a better sewer, it's a piece of cake. This will take you 10 minutes to be able to make. It'll take me 10 minutes just to get the sewing machine out and set up and figure it out. It seems like it's a brand new thing every time, but what I saw, okay, so this is all inspired by, I saw this cute little placemat, fabric placemat. It's backed at the dollar store. So these were $2.25. I bought 3 of them. And then I bought a blue dog leash. So just like this, like one of those nylon dog leashes. This was $1.75. So $2.25, $6.75. This is $1.75, $7.75, $8.50. So for $8.50 and some thread, we're gonna make a cute, cute, cute summer bag. Because look how awesome this is. Now, what I do need, so I need the 2 panels because that's gonna be my bag this way. And let's face it, who doesn't need a cute tote in the summer? I mean, you're going to visit a friend's backyard, hang out, so you're dumping sunscreen in, you got your cell phone, you want your water bottle. I mean, you're hauling stuff all over the place. Maybe you're doing a towel in there, tossing bathing suit, whatever. You could just sew this around the outside edges, but it's gonna be very skinny, very shallow. So I bought a 3rd placemat so that we can sew this as kind of an extender, that we're gonna have like a flat bottom to the bag. Okay, in an ideal world, that's what we're ending up with. So what I have done is, I mean, obviously this is the perfect length along the bottom. The top is 13 inches. So I have divided the width, which is 13 inches, into 4 inches, right? Glasses. Oh, sorry, painting. I'm covered in paint always. It's just the way that it goes. All right, so I've got my 4 inches measured off here, and I'm just doing my cutting line. There we go. And so I'm gonna cut these into strips. Now I'm gonna have one end that's already finished off, right? So what I am gonna do, because this one strip is the perfect length for my bottom. So I need my other 2 strips to come up here, but they're gonna be short. So what I want to do is finish off the top with a finished edge. So I'm going to measure the length, right, which is 13 inches here. And I'm gonna give it, you know, like a little bit of a seam allowance in there. And then cut them so that I can finish the top with a finished edge. In my head, it makes sense. So what I'm gonna do is get my pieces cut, and then I'm going to dig out my sewing machine and I'm gonna pull you back in over top so that you can see what I'm doing. But I'm thinking this should be really easy and pretty straightforward. And really, even with my limited sewing skills, if you know what you're doing, it'll take you 10 minutes. Maybe it'll take me 20. Let's double it, 20 minutes. That's it, to be able to make a really cute summer bag for under $10, under $9. That's pretty good. I'm thinking, okay, let's see how it turns out. This is my one long piece for the bottom. And these are my 2 pieces that are gonna be the sides. Now, what I have to do is I need to sew these together and sew them right sides facing each other. The nice thing about this is it's really easy to tell. And I have marked off kind of, this was maybe my cut line, but I'm gonna actually have to sew pretty much close to that line just because I'm going to lose a little bit of my bottom, which is kind of the perfect distance for this, but I'm going to lose a little bit. So rather than, this is my exact 13 inches right there, I'm going to give it a little bit more space to allow for the fact that I'm losing a little bit here. So I'm going to sew it first and then cut it because I don't really trust me. Now that this is done, what I want to do is just kind of quickly measure it against one of my other placemats and see lengthwise. Oh, I'm bang on. I never bang on. Okay, so it is now safe to cut off my excess. So I'm going to get that cut off, and then we will look at starting to sew this baby up. Yeah. Okay. For the next step, and I'm going to start by pinning the base because I want it to kind of be centered and lined up. So the first step here is just to get this pinned so that we can be ready to sew. The only tricky part of this, or tricky for me, piece of cake if you can sew, is that when we hit the corner, we have to turn. Right? Does that make sense? We need to be able to turn that. So I'm going to give myself space there and start pinning from the corner, the top, down to the corner. But again, we're doing good sides together so that all of this line and everything, ouch, just figures, all of that line is on the inside of our bag. All right, so I could sew that a little bit. So what I'm looking at here is I've got a lot more excess fabric than I need. I could sew that just a little closer to make my life easier, right about that line. So I'm going to do that and cut off the excess and then pin the other side and see what's what on that one. And once you're pinned, then you can start sewing. Okay, this is always the scary part for me. All right, what I ended up doing for the corner was I sewed up to the corner and nice and tight and then stopped. And then came from the other direction and sewed nice and tight and stopped. I don't know if that's the right way to do it or not, but it worked for me. And it gives an okay corner once I push this all out. I wasn't turning. I couldn't turn. And then I ran out of thread in the bobbin. I had to do a bobbin. I had to figure out how to do that again. Thank God they had little pictures up here. Otherwise, I'd be lost. So the next part, of course, I'm already really proud of how that's looking, very bag-like. I mean, I get that it's kind of folded in on itself right now, but we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna get this side pinned up, and we're gonna get it sewn in. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to sew to the corner and then sew to the corner and then come across. Start from the corner and go to the corner. It worked for me. If it's possible to explain an alternative way in writing that I'd be able to understand, I am open to you sharing ideas. But so far, I'm pretty happy. I'm delighted too with these little napkins, these little placemats, because in essence, my bag is going to finish with a lining. And if you're super handy, you could take these extra pieces, the cutoffs, and make little pockets on the inside. I'm pushing my luck as it is, so I'm probably not doing that. But mostly because these are raw edges here, and I would end up having to edge them, and that's perhaps a little beyond me, but it is an idea for those of you that are super handy. Right now, I think even just the basic bag that we're pulling together is going to be awesome for summer and be super cute. So I'm just going to get this pinned up and sewn, and then we'll see where we're at. I've got my bag all sewn together, and it looks great this way. I'm just waiting to turn it around and see how it looks. So we need to push the corners the right side out. I have a little iron sitting off to the side for me to be able to iron it if need be, those seams. And I just want to maybe grab a paintbrush, because that's what I've got. You could use the end of a wooden spoon if you have one in your kitchen. And we're just going to kind of turn out those corners a little bit, get where my fingers can't go. The last step to my bag is I took the dog leash and I cut 2 straps from it. Now, what you want to do is I'm going to sew this kind of corner to corner on the front and the back flaps of it. And you just want to have it long enough that it makes sense for you. So if you have it coming down, kind of take the handles up and see where that puts you, and then cut 2 straps of it, and then I'm going to sew those down. I'm going to have the flap on the inside, I'm going to sew it down, and then my bag is done. Last little bit of sewing. Corners were tricky, they're not perfect. I'm sure some of you will share the right way to do that, but if nothing else, it shows you really don't need to know what you're doing or how to be able to sew to be able to make a cute summer bag. Here's our finished bag. Now, a couple of things. I mean, I love the fact that it's lined. Cute little option. My straps hang so that it's like the perfect length for me. Just kind of measure out your body. See how high you want it to hang. That's going to be the tautness from the center to the top of your strap. And then just elongate it out. And as soon as you have those, just pin them in place, pull them tight, and see if that's the right distance for you, if that makes sense. The nice thing about this is that it's got beautiful finished edges around the top, because we took advantage of the fact that it came with beautiful finished edges. I didn't have to do that. And you know what? My corners aren't perfect, but I'm okay with that, because this is pretty darn cute. And I sewed it. I made it myself. So here's the thing, guys. Dog leash, a couple of placemats from the dollar store, and we're in. So again, I'm not the best sewer in the world, but you may not be either. It doesn't mean that you can't make something perfectly cute and functional and usable. And it's a starting point. We all have to start to learn how to do it. I'm counting on some of you to tell me how I'm supposed to actually do those corners properly. And then I know, and then I'll try it that way. It probably won't be perfect either, but that's how we improve. That's how we get better. And in the meantime, I have something that I can use, and that I'm pretty darn proud of, actually, that I figured out even how to get this far. So I don't want you guys to be held back by thinking I don't know how, or I can't do that, or I've never done that before. You know what? Sometimes we all just have to fake things to get through them the first time. And, sometimes we get a good result regardless. Let me know what you think of this one. Let me know if you're going to run out and check out what placemats are in your local dollar store. And I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Until then, take care.